Engagement relies on three main objectives, and I think it's important to mention it. First of all, it's fine-tuning the fundamental research which drive our investment decisions, so it helps us to understand and to clarify the ESG profile of the companies. Secondly, we aim at reducing the harmful effects of our impact because there is no black and white situation. There are regularly some concerns or some adverse impact, even with very sustainable companies promoting best practices or sustainable products. And the third objective is defending our values and our convictions regarding the E, the S, and the G, and I will come back to that in 2 minutes. So you understand there are a double objective with this. First of all, we have a responsibility towards the society, and we want to optimize our net positive impact for this whole society. So it means that we will, of course, dialogue with companies, but also with the ESG providers, because they have also an important role to play for a sustainable, better sustainable finances. We also engage, or we also dialogue at least with regulators, because also in the European context, regulation is more and more important, and I think that it's also our role as a sort of intermediate to work with them to get the most pragmatic approach to enable things to improve. We engage and we dialogue with experts because we are, first of all, a financial asset manager. We're not necessarily the expert of environmental issue, biodiversity, social concerns, corporate governance policies. We will also engage and take into account the opinions from NGOs because we can also receive another sound of information. So it's important that we engage with all stakeholders in this process to optimize this net positive impact for the whole society. And as I said, the double function is always on one hand the society, on the other hand the investments. I remind, sustainable investment aim at performances as well. We do not want to sacrifice or to be perceived as a sacrifice of return in view of better society and more sustainable finances. So the objective of our engagement is also to understand and to have a better informed investment decision. So it's also very important that we understand clearly all the risks, but also the opportunities, the both sides of an investment. And that's the reason also, and probably a big particularity at DPAM, all this engagement is supported by all investment professionals at DPAM, meaning that my team, which are more in charge of ESG sustainable research, we will work hand in hand with the portfolio managers and with the analysts from both sides, credit and equity, because we are convinced that this interaction is the success key for success in terms of sustainability, credibility, and in terms of financial performances and return. Because we see, for example, we engage a lot through the collaborative initiative Climate Action 100+. From my side, we are, of course, particularly interested to know the commitment, the targets, the ambitions from the companies in terms of climate change mitigation, climate change adaptation. But from the investment side, it's important for us to understand how these different quantitative objectives will be implemented, what consequences it has on the business plan, what consequences it has on the financial metrics. And that's the reason why it's so important that the effort in terms of engagement is really done and supported by all investment professionals within DPAM. And it's also important that it's supported by the whole entity, because we are convinced that engagement does not refer only to our sustainable investments. It's really information, precious information for any investment professional. So we can have information which is valid for any investment we have within the company, be it through specific investment funds or through different mandates. So as I said, for us, engagement, you clearly understand that it's particularly important at DPAM. And that's the reason why as well, we try to get all channels, if I may say, collective on one hand and individual engagement on the other hand. So we will join specific collective initiative, cooperation initiatives, when we judge and assess that it's really a win-win situation for everybody and that we can bring something to the society. We see a lot of initiatives which are more, I would say, sort of public statement, and where finally the commitment, duties and responsibilities or expectations are really minor. It remains a sort of public statement and nothing else. So for us, we joined an initiative when we see the impact on the society for the companies, but for the global environment as such. Thank you.